Hello students, my name is Teacher Mark and now we're going to study about specific heat capacity. So question, what is specific heat capacity? According to here, the specific heat capacity of a material is the amount of energy required to raise 1 kilogram of material by 1 degrees Celsius. So here we have 1 kilogram of the material by 1 degrees Celsius. Now we have a formula. A formula is energy equal mass times specific heat capacity times temperature change. So we have energy is Q, we have M for mass and CS for specific heat capacity, and then delta T for temperature change. Okay, so we're going to learn here we have energy is measured in joules, then mass is measured in kilograms, then temperature change is measured in degrees Celsius, and specific heat capacity is measured in joules per kilogram degrees Celsius. Energy, mass, temperature change, and specific heat capacity. We have this Q, M, temperature change, and specific heat capacity. Okay, so let's proceed to the next slide. Okay, so we have a question here. Using the specific heat capacity of water, so this is the specific heat capacity of water, 4,200 joules per kilogram degrees Celsius. Now the question is, how much energy is needed to increase the temperature of 600 grams of water by 80 degrees Celsius in kettle? Okay, so we're going to use this formula. So we have given, okay, then formula, then solution, then we have a diagram. So the given is we have mass, so 0.6 kilogram. Then we have specific heat capacity, 4,200 joules per kilogram degrees Celsius. Then we have temperature change equal 80 degrees Celsius. And then the question is, how much is the energy? Okay, formula, we have Q equal mass times specific heat capacity times change of temperature. Then Q equal 0.6 kilogram times 4,200 joules per kilogram degrees Celsius times 80 degrees Celsius. And then energy equal cancel, and then this one is cancel. So the answer here is 200,000 1,600 joules. And then diagram. So do you draw a picture of this one? Okay, and then this one is M, 0.6 kilogram. We have change of temperature, 80 degrees Celsius. And we have specific heat capacity is 4,200 joules per kilogram. Okay, so we need to write properly. 4,200 joules kilogram degrees Celsius. And then Q equals 201,600 joules. Okay, so that's it. So we have given, we have formula, and we have solution using the formula of heat, a specific heat capacity. Okay, so let's try this one. Okay, so example, try this one to yourself. So we have erase. So first question number 1. So we have this given for water, and how much is the energy? Okay, try to answer this one, okay? And then we have answer here. Okay, so teacher will give you a worksheets to answer and exercises to remember all things about specific heat capacity. So let's watch some video also.
You might have noticed that if you are trying to boil a lot of water, it takes longer than if you only wish to boil a small amount of water. This is all because of something called heat capacity. Keep watching to learn more. Before we get into details, it is important to realize that there is a difference between heat and temperature. Temperature is a way of describing how hot or cold an object is, and is measured in degrees Celsius, whereas heat is a form of energy and is measured in joules. The more heat transferred to an object, the more its temperature will rise. So heat and temperature are related, but they are not the same. So what is heat capacity? The heat capacity of a substance is defined as the amount of heat required to raise the temperature of a material by 1 degree Celsius. However, what's more useful for us to think about is the specific heat capacity of a substance. This is, as it says in the name, a little bit more specific. It is the amount of heat required to raise 1 kilogram of a material by 1 degree Celsius. Different materials have different known specific heat capacities, but we aren't always given a table like this, so we need to know how to calculate specific heat capacities ourselves. We have this equation, which can be written as symbols like this. The energy transferred is the heat energy absorbed or released. This equation can also be rearranged. To work out the temperature change, subtract the old temperature from the new temperature. Let's have a look at a problem. Pause the video and attempt to calculate the specific heat capacity of lead. How did you get on? The energy transferred is this, the mass is this, and the temperature change is 10 degrees Celsius. Because it's this, take away this. Using the rearranged equation, substitute in the values and we get 128 joules per kilogram Celsius. Here is another practice problem. Pause the video and attempt to calculate the energy transferred to the lead. Did you get it right? We could divide by 1000 to turn the answer into kilojoules. Notice that the answer is negative this time. It's because we cooled the lead. The temperature change will always be negative if it is being cooled, and positive if it is being heated. So there you have it. To summarize, specific heat capacity is the amount of energy needed to raise 1 kilogram of a substance by 1 degree Celsius. It's helpful because it allows us to work out how much energy we need to heat up or cool down a substance to a desired temperature. To calculate it, use the following equation.